You've been in a car accident and you're wondering what exactly you're supposed to do next. As if the pain that you're dealing with isn't already enough to worry about. Now you have to call in and file a claim and talk to an experienced insurance adjuster and then try to handle the settlement yourself, all while hoping that you're doing it correctly? No, you don't have to do that. Let's talk about each step in the claim and settlement process so that you know exactly what to expect throughout the life of your case. Hi, I'm attorney Mark Brown, and I've represented over 1,000 injury clients. If you choose to try to get the claim started on your own, which I do not advise, you need to call an experienced injury lawyer to get the claim open for you. However, if you decide to try to get the claim started yourself, the first thing you need to do is call the insurance company and open up the claim. If it was me, I would give them information about what happened, but I would not go in extreme detail because there's a chance that you might say something that could affect your case and give them reason to put some of the liability, some of the fault on you instead of the person we know was the at-fault driver. Because that's how insurance companies do. But once the claim is open and you've initially spoken with the insurance adjuster, you really need to contact an injury lawyer. I cannot express that enough. But once you call the lawyer and get representation, what happened next really depends on whether you call law enforcement to the scene or not. If you didn't call law enforcement to the scene and did not get a police report, you could possibly face an uphill battle when you open up your claim. Because when law enforcement comes to the scene, they're gonna talk to you and they're gonna talk to the other driver, any witnesses, and they're gonna make a determination of who was at fault. That is going to help the insurance adjuster decide who's responsible for paying for the damage, compensating you. If you don't have a police report, let's just say the person at the scene apologizes for running into your vehicle and they give you their insurance information and they're just promising that it's going to get taken care of because they have good insurance, they have full coverage. Next thing you know, you call later on that day to open up the claim and insurance company says, you know what? There's already a claim open. We've spoken to our insured and they told us you were at fault. See, I face this type of situation almost every day. In fact, oddly enough, my wife, she got into a small car accident last week where somebody backed into her vehicle in the parking lot of her job. Even though I make these videos and I tell everybody, make sure to call law enforcement, she thought she was doing the right thing because the person that backed into her vehicle was a patient of the clinic that she works at. So the lady apologized, gave her Allstate insurance. Allstate, yeah, you know where this is going. Gave her Allstate insurance information. Lo and behold, later that night, we called to file the claim. Claim has already been opened. That lady who was singing one tune at the scene of the collision sung a whole different song on the phone to her insurance company. So the lady now says that my wife was at fault for the collision, and the insurance company, all snakes, they know that their person was at fault because of the details on how the accident happened. So instead of denying liability 100%, they are trying to put my wife 50% for the collision. You already know that was a short phone call, just hung up, and we've already drafted a lawsuit, so I'm not playing around with Allstate. All that to say this, call law enforcement and make sure you get an accident report. You need that collision report because that is going to protect you later down the line when you go to open up your insurance claim. Another big part of your case, because it is an injury claim, is whether or not you receive medical treatment. You can't have an injury claim if you're not injured. So, when you call 911, not only is that going to get law enforcement to come out to the scene, but if injuries are reported, that's going to get EMS to the scene as well. EMS workers will assess you to see whether they believe you need additional medical treatment or whether you're okay. If you feel as though you're injured or you just want to get checked out, and I recommend everybody get checked out because you never know, EMS will transport you to a hospital emergency room for emergency medical treatment. If you feel as though you might possibly be injured and you plan on making an injury claim, you need to get the medical treatment as soon as possible. Every hour that goes by after the collision and you have not gone for medical treatment, it weakens your case because the insurance company is going to argue, well, you weren't hurt that bad if you didn't need medical treatment or if you waited to go get medical treatment. And this is another reason why it's important to contact an injury lawyer as soon as possible after the accident, because they're gonna guide you and give you advice on how to proceed. In fact, if you're watching this right now because you've recently been in a car accident and you're not sure if you wanna hire a lawyer, go ahead and give me a call right now and just talk it through. Not saying you need to hire me, but let's just talk about it so that I can explain your options, okay? Aside from getting the police report and getting medical treatment, another thing that you want to do quickly after an accident is you need to preserve as much evidence as possible. That could be surveillance video from a nearby gas station, or more importantly, the actual cars involved in the collision. A lot of people don't know that most newer cars have an EDR unit in them, an event data recorder unit. What that is a little black box, similar to what airplanes have. They tell you exactly what that vehicle was doing leading up to the collision. For example, and this is gonna explain why it's helpful. I had a client who was leaving bingo with her family, and she pulled out of the parking lot and was T-boned by a big truck. It was a devastating collision, and Jaws of Life had to come out and actually extract her from the vehicle. To add insult to injury, the investigating officer put my client at fault for the collision, saying that she pulled out in front of the other vehicle, failed to yield the right of way. I went and took a look at the damage to the vehicle, and automatically I knew that vehicle was driving more than 45 miles per hour, which was the posted speed limit, and that's what the at fault, the other driver, said that she was driving. Well, of course, I had my engineer go and do a download of the EDR. Lo and behold, she was driving 67 miles per hour. Yeah, she was driving 67 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. Then I had my investigator go out and interview different witnesses that were in the parking lot when the collision occurred, and each one of them stated that that young lady was racing another vehicle from the traffic light right before she T-boned my client. Not only that, but the vehicle that she was racing came back. They started pulling a bunch of junk, including cans and bottles, from her truck and putting it in their truck and left the scene. Now that we were armed with this information, my client had to go to a traffic court because she was ticketed for failing to yield the right of way. I presented the judge with this evidence, so of course, the judge threw out her case, so she beat her failing to yield the right of way case. And instead of her being in fault with the insurance company changed the fault to their driver, and we were able to recover a 6-figure settlement to help my client out. All because my client called me quickly after the collision, and I was able to quickly preserve the vehicle so that we can get that data. All right, now we got the first part over with. The claim is open. Now you need to start compiling your evidence. For instance, we ask each one of our clients to keep a journal and record all of the hardships and problems that they face in their everyday lives as a result of their injuries. And when I say journal, it's not old school. You don't have to have like a little booklet with a pen. You got a cell phone like I'm recording on right now. You just type in a note. Like if you have a head injury and you were right now, last Tuesday, I couldn't go to my son's basketball game because I had a throbbing headache. Or last Monday, you had to leave work early because you were standing and walking around too much and it was really bothering your lower back and your legs. These type of events are very important to show the seriousness of your injuries and how they impact your livelihood. And while you're preserving evidence, don't mess up evidence like the medical records. What I'm saying is, don't always show up to doctor's appointments late or no call, no shows, or keep constantly rescheduling your appointments, because those events are going to reflect in the medical records, which the medical records are a key part of your evidence for your injury claim. The last thing you want to do is to make your treating doctor mad, because they're the ones trying to help you. They're the ones trying to make sure that you get better, and they're the ones preparing the medical records that you're going to need for your claim. Also, after the claim is open, the insurance adjuster is going to have a bunch of questions that you really should not answer without a lawyer. They're probably going to ask you for a recorded statement. While the recorded statement sounds simple, they're just asking you what happened. The wrong answers or allowing them to trip up and confuse your responses could cause issues with your case. And if you aren't getting the drift, don't talk to the insurance adjuster before talking with a lawyer. That's all. It's just me trying to say that over and over. There's a reason that lawyers earn a percentage of the recovery. It's because we know what we're doing. We add value to your case. We can help guide you so that you have the best outcome. And when I say guide you, I never mean lying to the insurance company. You should never lie at any point during the claim. However, there are certain words that you can use that the insurance adjuster is trained on how to flip those words, flip the meaning, and cause problems. Now, it's time to settle, but don't rush. Don't rush. Please don't rush. Your lawyer should know when it's time to start moving your case to the settlement stage. Settling your case too early means you likely left money on the table. So those quick settlements are not always best for you. If you're still receiving medical treatment, but your doctor is saying that you are close to maximum medical improvement, once you finish treating, that's often a good time to move the case towards settlement. But every case is different depending on the facts involved. Trust me, I want to make sure to get you the maximum compensation for your injury. So I am going to try to best position you and your case so that you are able to recover maximum compensation. I let each one of my clients know when I believe it's time for us to start working towards settlement. With that being said, it's not my case, it's my client's case. So if my client says, no, I want to settle this case right now for that amount, I can advise them that that's not in their best interest, but I have to do what my client asks me. I've seen several clients settle their case too early against my advice, against my recommendation, and then later on, they call me wanting to know if they can get more money. They cannot. Once you sign that release, it's no going back to get more money from that claim most of the time. For instance, let's say you're treating with a chiropractor and you want to settle your case. And I'm telling you not to, but you want to settle, so we settle. Next thing you know, you get a recommendation to go see an orthopedic surgeon and now you need surgery. There's no coming back for more money. Now you have sold yourself short. You left a bunch of money on the table because you wanted money now instead of waiting to when your case is ripe for a settlement. Now is the final stretch. Your case has settled and we're just waiting on the settlement check to come in. This is the point in time where we're getting all your medical bills, any health insurance liens reduced, because those reductions put more money in your hand. And when it's time to actually disperse the check, I like to meet my clients in person. But I do understand sometimes clients are not able to come into the office, or maybe some of my out-of-state clients, I'm not able to get to them quickly. So as a convenient option, we do overnight checks and even wired checks in some cases. Whatever it takes to make sure the client is taken care of. Once all the steps are completed, now we settle your case and the claim is over, and you can focus on moving on with your life. Even though we've moved on from the claim and got everything resolved, do know that once I'm your lawyer, we're like family, so you can still call me anytime in the future if you have any questions about anything. If you're looking for an experienced injury lawyer that will make the claim process as easy as possible and fight to get you the settlement you deserve, check out the link below, and I'll see you there.